Hello Gunpla fans, this is Joe of Joe's Gunpla here with another video. And I got a lot of positive feedback from my last What Do You Know Joe, in which I just sort of talked about things pertaining to the hobby and my plans and stuff while building a model kit. So I thought I'd kind of continue along those lines and just sort of talk about my plans for my goal of building 100 model kits this year. And as you see in front of you, kit number 1 is already completed. And as of this recording, it's January 12th, which is when I finished it. And obviously, if I'm going to complete 100 kits, I'm going to have to work a little faster than what I've been doing. But I'd like to start off by talking about perhaps why I think this goal is attainable. Granted, I've been really busy with school and stuff already this year, and last year school was such a priority and such a time eater that I just didn't have time to build much of anything. I think I completed 27 or 28 kits last year. So yeah, there's a pretty big gap to fill if I expect to actually make 100 kits completed this year. But to that end, I would like to come clean on a few things. First of all, by complete, I mean finishing up works in progress counts. Things that are already underway, and I have quite a few of those kits that are still sort of sitting on a shelf, either partially built or even completely assembled. They just need decals and panel lining and stuff like that. I actually have a full list in front of me. So yeah, I've got a high-grade Sinanju, 2 real-grade Zeta 3s, the P-Bandai exclusives. I have a Master-grade Hyakushiki with Balyut. I do have a couple of TT Hongli Master Grades. I have 2 High New Gundams from TT Hongli, along with a Bandai one, but the Bandai one's not been started yet. I've got a TT Master Grade Sinanju, along with 2 bazookas, a Master Grade Shenlong in the works. It's been in the works for years, but I broke a shoulder part, and I ordered the wrong parts from Gente Parts when they were actually taking orders, and they have discontinued their service for the time, so I had to go through some pretty shady means to get the part that I needed, and it's from a Master Grade Sandrock actually, but it's the same part in the shoulder, so rest assured, Shenlong, you will be finished soon. Master Grade Full Armor Unicorn needs to be panel lined and stickers and top coat. Sasbi Verka, I need to finish the decals on that. Master Grade Build Gundam Mark II, which is nearly complete. Well, it's about halfway complete, I'd say, as far as assembly goes. But that kit I am only working on when I go and build Gunpla at Barnes & Noble with my local friends. So that guy is kind of, he will be completed as he gets completed. I'm not in a rush to get him done. I have a Dragon Momoko Tallgeese 3 Master Grade. All the parts on that are clipped from the runners and trimmed and separated into various bins according to which part of the model it belongs to. But that kit I do actually want to practice airbrushing on, so I don't know when I'll get to him. Master Grade Astray Noir, which is another premium exclusive. Assembled but needs decals. Master Grade Prototype Gundam, another premium exclusive. Master Grade Banshee Norn, premium exclusive. A TT Hongli Wing Zero Custom Perfect Grade. Now with that one, I started building that one 2.5-ish years ago with my ex. So she built one arm and I built one arm, and it's one of those things where it's like, you know, right after the breakup, I didn't want to do anything with it at all. I actually almost gave it away. But it's like, you know, I'm like pretty much over all this stuff. It's like it doesn't have that emotional attachment anymore, so I feel like I can actually get to it. So that one might be a thing this year if it doesn't look like it's going to eat up too much time. And then I have a bunch of like just little kits, but they require a lot of work to make look decent. From the original G Gundam line, I have a 1/144th Shining, Maxter, and Bolt Gundam in the works. From the original Gundam Wing line, I have a 1/144th Wing Zero, Epion, Ultron, Death Scythe Hell in the works. And those 7 kits have been cemented together, and I'm working on removing seam lines, and those old kits are just such a pain to work with, but I want them to look as good as they can without doing any extensive modifications. I just want to remove all the seam lines and paint them and do them some justice. I have 3 first grade kits, 2 from Seed, 1 from Seed Destiny, the Raider Gundam, an M1 Astray, and a Force Impulse. And those kits were just sort of snapped together in a hurry because I was bored one day. And then last but not least, I have the premium Bandai exclusive 35th anniversary edition of the Char's Zaku 2 head and the real grade Gundam. All that's left on that, I believe, is to do some water slide decals on the Zaku head and then apply a top coat. But that one's going to require some masking because it's got that big clear visor that I'll have to mask off before I put a top coat on it. And I still can't decide if I want to do a high gloss to have that showroom feel or if I want to do a flat top coat to see, to make it look a bit more realistic and blend out any blemishes from my panel lining or the decals, etc. So that's something I need to decide on before I tackle that beast. And that is my list of all the in-progress kits. As far as I remember, I tried to take a good inventory before I started this video. So that's kind of where I stand. That's, I think, 28 kits. This makes 29 as long as I complete everything on that list, and then of course the Build Mark II you see in front of you. So that's more than a quarter of the way there. I have, including the in-progress kits, unfinished 271 kits to choose from. So that's quite a backlog that I can pull from. I was thinking that it would be easiest after I finish the in-progress kits to just go ahead and start on the number of 1 to 144 scale series that I have. Like, I have collections. For example, the Wing series of 1 to 144 scale kits will be completed after the Wing Zero, Epion, Ultron, Death Scythe Hell are done, and then I have Mercurius and V8. And then the 13 kits from that original line, aside from Tallgeese 1 and 2, which I'll get to in a moment, will all have been completed to the highest standards that I can without extensive modification and learning to airbrush on a kit like that. So I'll have those painted up, and I'm doing sort of what they refer to as the no paint method, where you sand all of the plastic to get rid of the plastic look, and then you apply a top coat. So I'm going to be making those look nice. The G Gundam line, I have the entire 1/144 scale collection of that as well, so I want to complete those this year. I also have all of the Endless Waltz kits to do. I have 3 of the Tallgeese 3, so that'll cover 1 and 2, obviously. I also have a second Serpent custom. The only one in that line that I don't have in backlog is the Ntaku, because I already completed one a few years back when I was running my blog. So those will also fill in a decent chunk of that 100 kits that I want to finish up. And then I have V Gundam, Victory Gundam. I have the entire 1/144th line of that. I have the 5G unit model kits. I think it's 5. I have all of them, however many there are. It's either 5 or 6. And 8th MS Team. I have all of those as well in backlog, ready to go. I actually have an extra GM ground type. So, and so you kind of see where I'm going with this. If I complete all of those high grade and no grade 1/144 scale kits, I'm practically there. I'll be around like 60 or 70 kits done. So it'll take a lot of work, a lot of doing, but I think I'm up to the challenge. If I, build a few kits at a time, glue everything one day, and then spend a few days sanding, and then a few days painting, I think I can complete a good maybe 4 or 5 kits in a week if I have nothing else to do. So a lot of this is going to happen during the summer after I graduate. In the meantime, just sort of working on getting the in-progress stuff done, applying decals and stickers and panel lining I can do now in my spare time, between homework and work and stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I do have quite the list of master grades I would like to complete this year as well. Mostly all of my premium exclusive kits. I want to get all of those completed before the end of the year. I talked to someone last night about going to Japan. And he actually he taught in English in Japan for about a year, and he gave me some really good advice on everything. And he was telling me, the main program I'm looking into is rather difficult to get into, and I knew that from the start. And he offered me some ideas on other ways I can get to Japan to teach English or whatever. So I know that the process itself is going to be rather lengthy, and depending on what program I end up getting into, I know some of them, one or two that I was looking into, they hire in like August, September, but then you don't actually go over there until April. So that would give me a considerable amount of time to finish up a few things, but I plan on starting to research companies and start applying right after graduation. So, I mean, if I get sent over to Japan this summer, just I get hired on right away, and it's really short notice, then yeah, there's no way I'll get the 100 kits done, and that would be okay. But that's sort of like I said, the 100 kits thing is sort of a frivolous goal. Nothing that needs to be completed, nothing dire. The subject of discussion came up last night. What am I going to do with my collection? Obviously, I can't bring the whole thing with me over to Japan. And like most of my stuff here, it's going to go into storage. And another thing that came up was, where am I going to put all the Gunpla that I buy while I'm in Japan? Because let's face it, it is the mecca of Gunpla. What am I going to do as far as that goes? And I've already decided, and I decided this as soon as I knew I was going to be going to Japan, because I've known that it would happen eventually. I was going to live in Japan, and I've wanted to do this since high school, and I've been into Gunpla since before high school, so I knew that would be a problem. So I've always decided that when I get there, I will only purchase one kit at a time, finish it to whatever standards I'm working on by that point, or capable of, depending on what tools are available. And then as I finish them, I'll display them for a while, and then take 5 to 10 of them, depending on how many, of course, I have, and box them up and ship them home to be put into storage with the rest of the horde. And I think that's a pretty good plan as long as I can stick to that. You know, to be perfectly honest, my ideal situation would be to only work on um, either rare kits, like the older stuff, or to only work on expensive kits, because they'd be so much cheaper over there. Like I would only work on perfect grades. So if I'm there for 3 years, I mean, I might get through, you know, however many. What there's like 5 or 6 different perfect grades that I might be able to get through in that time span. Because I don't, as much as I love Gunpla here in America, I think it's because this place that I'm in is so boring, and there's nothing to do here ever. So I focus a lot on Gunpla, but my time in Japan is going to be precious. I don't know how long I'll be there. I mean, I'd love to be there for 5 or 6 years, but realistically speaking, sometimes a contract only lasts a year or 2 years. Some companies put a limit on how many years you can work there anyway, and you have to find a new job and all that stuff. And yeah, you never know what's going to happen. So I want to make the most of my time in Japan, and I want to visit a lot of places. I want to meet a lot of people. I want to be active in the local community. So there's not really going to be a lot of time for Gunpla, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I've already accepted it, and I think that's kind of the way it should be. I think those 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 years, however long it's going to be over there, they need to be something special, something more than just being an otaku or a ganoda. In my case, they need to be about embracing what it is to be human and alive and appreciative of the environment that I'm in and the people around me and the culture and all of that stuff. Not to get too serious and too or too not serious. I don't know what I'm being right now, but hopeful, romantic. I guess you could say I'm being romantic about it, but that's what I want to focus on while I'm over there. So that's my plan as far as that goes. There was something else that I wanted to bring up in conversation today, and I don't quite recall what it is. Something about Gundam, obviously. Oh, tutorial series. Since I'm going through all of this building, and I plan on... Okay, I got it. There are 2 things I want to talk about now. All right. So, I since I plan on building all these kits, and whatever, there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to be doing with them. I want to start filming a tutorial series, and I think I would do that by just filming myself building, get some decent shots of the various steps and whatnot, and then edit them together into a brief tutorial series, just like different steps, different things. I know I've talked about a tutorial series before, but I think I finally have a way that I can get it done. Yeah, so there's that. And then I think I want to continue doing these types of videos. It's sort of a one-man podcast, and it seems really lonely to just sit here with a Gundam model in front of me and my phone recording stuff, and just kind of sitting here talking about Gundam and Gunpla to myself, basically. So, and God forbid, I'm out in the garage at my workbench, and I really hope that, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock, and I'm really hoping that my mom or dad doesn't come out here in the middle of the night to have a cigarette, because they do that sometimes, and interrupt everything, because I'd have to refilm this, and it'd be really... not to mention they'd think I was absolutely insane. So, yeah. So what have we covered so far? We've covered my plan for building 100 kits, catching up on in-progress stuff, serializing my builds so that I'm working within a specific series, going to Japan, what to do with my kits while I'm there, what to do with my horde while I'm there, and a tutorial series, and yeah, cool. I think we're good. I think I covered everything. I want to do more of these chats. I like this. Just kind of letting my mind wander, sort of. I'm going to have an outline of what I'm talking about, but it doesn't have to be too serious, too professional. I don't know. Something kind of natural. Anyway, so this has been about a 20-minute video, a little more than. I would like to leave you, and if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. So here's the meat of the kit you see before you. The base kit, the high-grade Universal Century Gundam Mark II, it's old. I mean, by today's standards, it's darn near ancient. So, the articulation's not the best. Seam lines are atrocious. Like, if you are a stickler for seam lines, this kit is going to be some work, because they are everywhere. They're down the middle of the forearm, they're down the middle of the leg, both the thigh and the shin, the head. It's just, they're really bad. I mean, if you can, let me close it. Like, look at that, and that's squeezed together as tight as I could get it. Same on the shoulder, same on the leg here. It's just, it's not pretty. I mean, that stuff doesn't bother me, obviously, because I call it done and I'm good. But if you always try and fill in your seam lines, this kit's got quite a few to work with. The integration of the build fighters parts is, to customize it's pretty interesting. It works really well. Obviously, like, you're not supposed to, quote unquote, be using the beam rifle and shield and the bazooka, so to speak. But it's, they're there, and I wanted to throw them on. I think the new customized parts integrate pretty well. I would have to complain that you can't quite see it on camera, but there is a gap. Like, this part here, this yellow and this little bit of blue, that's all one part. And if you get it just angled right, you can see light through here. Like, there's a gap. It doesn't go in flush all the way. And that's where the chest vents normally plug into, but these are new parts. And they stick out a little too much, and I'm really disappointed by that. You'd think they would have molded that just a little bit better. The backpack and the new parts, they do look okay, though. I mean, I think they mesh well with the design of the Mark II. One more thing that I'm kind of really upset with is that, okay, so a lot of the newer, the GM kits especially, they come with 7, 8, 10 hands. I mean, it really depends on what kit you got. The Build Burning Gundam comes with a ton of hands. And I know many of those kits are new molds when they come with so many hands like that. But in this kit, comes with the one hand molded with the beam saber. Normally, this is what it comes with. An open fist for the left hand, and then a trigger finger hand for the right hand. And that's traditionally all you get, are the two hands. When you get, like I said, the trigger finger hand for the right hand, that guy there. And then normally you get this open fist for the left hand. They molded one additional hand, and that is a trigger finger hand for the left side. But in order to use it, you have to take the back of the hand off of the fist, the open fist, and put it on there. If they're going to go through the trouble of giving you a new hand, and it's molded right on the runner that comes for the Mark II booster, I think they should also mold an additional back of the hand. It's just really frustrating. Another thing is, if you were going to go through the trouble of making one new hand for the left side, a trigger finger hand, why not make one more open fist hand for the right hand? So, because as it stands, if I want him to just stand there without any weapons in his hands, my only option for the right hand is this guy here. And he's got this trigger going on, this trigger finger. Why not make, a mirrored open fist hand for the right side? I don't understand that. And the thing about not making any backs of the hand, I understand they didn't make a new runner that had white on it. All the white you see here is from the original Mark II. So, and the new runners are only made in blue and gray. That's it. So, like, if you were to go out and buy the Mark II booster, that's what you get, just gray and blue. And so I understand they didn't want to make a whole nother little white runner for backs of hands. Okay, fine. I would have rather them make the backs of the hands molded in, I don't care, blue would have been fine. Gray would have been fine. It's just so long as we had them. So it's a little frustrating that they did it that way. But that's what you get. So, like I said, to reiterate, you only get the new parts molded in blue and gray. So this yellow is painted. This yellow is painted. This yellow and this yellow is painted. The core fighter, that yellow is painted. The black and the white is painted. That's so that's something you kind of need to consider. That being said, the old high grade Mark II is a pretty decent kit. I mean, it's old and there's not a ton of detail, but you do get enough to work with if you really want to put a little bit of extra work in there. Like, I painted up the thrusters. The gold chipped off here, but I can fix that. A little bit of chrome in the interior. There's a nasty dub mark on that bazooka, and I see that, but it doesn't bother me. The backs of the legs have those cables in a couple of areas. A little bit of gold chrome down below here. There are places to fit in some painting and detailing. It's not a complete waste of a kit. For its age, it's actually really nice. So, yeah, just thought I would throw a micro review into the end here, at the end. Where's my focus? There we go. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw out that little micro review at you guys, see what you thought about that. I don't want to go over articulation. You can get articulation videos anywhere. So I just wanted to go over some of the pros and cons of the high-grade Build Gundam Mark II. And with that, my friends, I'm coming up on about half an hour here. I will let you go. So until next time, guys, happy building, and look forward to one of these long, talky videos, maybe about once a week or so. It's kind of nice and relaxing. I get to just sit here and talk about my favorite thing in the world, and no one's here to argue with me. So that's pretty great. Until next time, guys, happy building, and take care.